go into a game expecting to lose. We'll all come out ready to play tomorrow.
Got to keep building, keep making winning plays, keep doing it together.
Devin Booker puts it in. Tough shot from Booker. Giannis on the follow.
We've been talking about them outworking us. That's the freaking deal. They're outworking.
Devin Booker putting on a show here in the third quarter. It's good. Middleton nails another. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. Chris Paul falls down and lost the ball. Middleton inside. He banks it home. The NBA Finals are tied at 2 games apiece. It's a best of 3 now.
Oh boy, what a difference a couple of games makes. How about Chris Paul's trajectory since this finals began? He scored 41 to close out the series against the Clippers. And since then, his scoring has been on a steady decline. Shooting percentages straight down with it. In his last 2, Chris Paul shooting just 17% from three-point range. Before that, his previous 3 games, he was 70% from beyond the arc. Here's Dave McMenamin with more on CP3.
Chris Paul is the straw that stirs the Suns' drink, their veteran leader and demeanor director, and so to see him, of all people, have 2 costly turnovers late in the fourth quarter, leading to 2 fast-break buckets to help the Bucks run away with a win, was striking. It was me, Paul said, when asked what accounted for the 17 Phoenix turnovers compared to just 5 for Milwaukee. I had 5 of them. It was bad decision-making. I got to take care of the ball. Paul now has 15 turnovers over the last 3 finals games, his most over a 3-game stretch in the playoffs since 2012. Said Suns coach Monty Williams, quote, "The turnovers just crushed us tonight." In Milwaukee, I'm Dave McMenamin, ESPN.
Let's bring Tim Legler back in for more on the point guard, who is playing so unlike we usually see Chris Paul play, especially leading up to this series, Tim. What are you seeing specifically from him as this series progresses?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's 100% physically or not because he certainly looks worn down, exhausted, a little bit gassed. And I think the strategy that the Bucks went to starting with game 2, where they're going to pick him up 3/4 court the entire game and just give no ground to him easy, I think it's worn on him. And it might not look like it when you're watching the game because he's still advancing the ball up the floor and getting into his offense. But when you got a guy like Drew Holiday on you, or a PJ Tucker, or even a Jeff Teague when he comes in the game, and they're turning you that many times, they're bumping you that many times before you get into your initial action, it is going to take a toll on you. And I think that's what they targeted after the first game when Chris Paul had his way. And if you look, ever since, his offensive production has gone down every single game. And the problem for the Suns, the only 3 guys on their team that create their own offense are Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Cameron Payne to a certain extent. That's it. So if you take Chris Paul out of the equation where he is not creating offense for himself, you're putting far too much pressure on Devin Booker. I mean, the guy had one of the best one-on-one finals games performances I've seen. It reminded me of Dwayne Wade in 06, Dirk Nowitzki in 2011. He was that good in just going at guys, getting his own offense, and yet they still came up short because Chris Paul was really a non-factor offensively, Sage. So for me, this entire series, the next 3 games, will be determined by what we get out of Chris Paul. That's where now this is. This is up in the air where I thought the Suns were going to win this series. Now I still say that only if Chris Paul can find his offense again, because right now he looks like a guy that is worn out.
You know, we talk about adjustments throughout the postseason, and certainly got to give credit to Mike Budenholzer over the last couple of games for what he has done to Chris Paul. And so now the question is, can Monty Williams do the same thing, find some tricks and adjust back to save this series? That said, Tim, you kind of alluded to what you think it's going to turn out to be. If you had to pick today, what's your gut as far as which team can win this best of 3?
I'm going to stay with the Suns. I picked them in 7 before the series, although I did think there'd be a couple of road wins in there for both of these teams. Now I think this could be a series, Sage, in which the home team wins every game. I'm still going to give Chris Paul the benefit of the doubt. This is his first finals appearance. There is no way he is going out the way that we've seen him the last couple of games. He's too good. He's too competitive. Now, can he find it? Whatever that energy in reserve that he needs to find, that's what we need to see. He's very fortunate in that all these games now with these 2 days off in between games, he's going to get that over the next 2 as well. So he's got time, more time than guys you would usually have in this situation to find his legs. And if he can, I think Chris Paul is going to put his fingerprints all over this series from this point forward. And if that's the case, I think the Suns overall are a better team. But they cannot have a guy that's an all-star that's capable of being the best player on the floor, be invisible offensively. If you lose that much, clearly the Bucks will win the series. So I'm going to give Chris Paul the benefit of the doubt, and I think the Suns end up winning this thing in 7 games.
Yeah, at this point, it's do or die. It is the NBA Finals. You cannot have an off night, especially not anymore with only 3 left, potentially 3. Game 5 Saturday night in Phoenix. It's at 9 Eastern on ABC. Tim, thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.